Hey, it's your old pal Lucid Stew again. This time we're going to talk about some more Dreams asset heroes. These are people like me that make assets for everyone else to use. Let's get to it. Our first hero has been featured on this channel before, the great Bevis 2. Bevis 2 is famous for grand, sweeping architecture and surreal fantasy adventures. Today we'll focus on the grand architecture, starting with the Minas Tirith Assets Collection. Minas Tirith is, of course, the capital city of Gondor from J.R.R. Tolkien's various books. The version depicted here is a faithful rendition of the one seen in the recent movie versions of those tales. However, this set of assets is more than an attempt to create a moving setting. It can be the basis for any monumental classical scene. Most of the assets are mid-range to somewhat expensive in cost, although they are also multi-purpose many times. I also checked it out, and a few can be thermo-reduced without much loss in fidelity. You can see from this scene that the collection enables the building of monumental scales and good detail. Although the scene as is feels empty and in use, you'll likely need to sacrifice a few pieces here and there, but there are plenty to work with. Speaking of sacrificing pieces, one drawback of this collection is that there are several private elements in it, and hopefully Bevis 2 sees this and is alerted to that fact. It's easy to forget that elements are private when placing them into a collection, as you yourself can always see them. Normally I remove Dreams audio from these videos, but in this portion I left it in to highlight the wonderful music by Vitamin G90 included in this showcase scene. Overall, a towering achievement, if you will. As someone who tends to specialize in large scenes like this, I can tell you that planning and executing something like this is not the easiest of tasks. I'm a big fan. So much so that I spent several minutes taking photos of this scene when it released. I covered House of Bevis some time ago in its own video, but since then Bevis 2 has released some of the assets from that scene to the community, so I also want to talk about those briefly. More great architecture and also some weirdness. Overall a great complement to and combination with the Minas Tirith assets. If you haven't seen my video about Bevis 2's early creations, check it out. Bevis 2 is one of the most famous Dreams creators, but our next is still somewhat unsung with only 300 some followers. I give you directchaos and their collection Realistic City Elements. I've been a big fan of directchaos for some time due to their wonderful sense of artistry and ability to blend just a touch of fantasy in with realism to lend it their own distinctive style. Realistic City Elements has a bunch of assets and they are all aimed at low thermal consumption, so a very useful set across genres. I think you get a great sense of the style imparted when these are in motion. Attention to detail is great. The application of imagination to realism is awe-inspiring. It is not easy to think of how a thing should look when it differs from reference and to make it so. Because directchaos uses these in a futuristic noirish game setting, a lot of these assets have a steampunk slash dieselpunk slash cyberpunk vibe reminiscent of Blade Runner or BioShock. I can make comparisons like this without hyperbole because the execution is just that good. The overall style lends itself perfectly to video games with just enough flair to hold interest while staying grounded in reality. And because of that, these assets once again can be applied to a broad range of scenes, which I think makes these kinds of sets perfect for consumption by all you level designers. So I would encourage all of you to check out Realistic City Elements and give directchaos a follow, as I have, because directchaos is one of my Dreams asset heroes. The first video I did in this series, I got yelled at in the comments for leaving out Diantha 10. It was not an intentional oversight, and creators appear in no particular order in this series. That said, I give you Diantha 10 not out of guilt, but because they are one of my Dreams asset heroes. We are looking at Diantha's art kits collection. Diantha 10 has a ton of collections, and this encapsulates them, so this is the one we shall peruse. First, let me say I'm a big fan of good collection layout. I don't like to see a lot of clutter. Things shouldn't be hard to see. This collection checks the boxes and then some. Not only is everything laid out nicely, but you have a choice of looking through everything organized by general theme, season, or set. Wow! I'm quite prolific myself. I have published over 300 public elements so far, and creators like Diantha 10 really blow me away with their prolificness. We are very lucky to have content creators like this providing quality assets to all of us out there and in tremendous amounts. As an example, Diantha 10 has probably published more gourds than most people have published, period. I love seasonal assets, so based on that alone, these sets are some of my favorites. This Christmas set right here feels like someone dumped a Michaels into Dreams. The style is so current and relevant. I'm jealous I can't make stuff like this. Diantha 10 is one of several people currently working together to bring the Little Big Planet universe to Dreams and knocking it out of the park. By the way, just to be clear, this is Dreams you're looking at here. I should know, I recorded it. There are a couple of cartoonish sets available, including this one featuring Granny Snail and her ride-on lawnmower. That roly-poly car is still coming, by the way. Count on it. Another is an Animal Crossing inspired set called Clouds Crossing, and this features stylized versions of now famous characters from various Dreams creators. If you think about it, this is a wonderful community tribute to all the people making content and games out there that makes Dreams so special and such a great community. Thanks, Diantha 10. And last but not least, we have thebiv in their wonderfully cohesive theme Sci-Fi underwater base and space station asset pack. Great complete set, well organized. A lot of these are multi-purpose, so they don't necessarily need to stay in theme to be of use. Also included are sets of more complex pre-assembled pieces. This is a mind that is thinking ahead and providing you with options to build on your own, but also grab and go elements for when you want to build a scene more than a set piece. Speaking of building a scene, let's take a look at the showcase scene featured in this collection. It is aptly entitled Sci-Fi Underwater Base and Space Station Asset Pack Demo Level. Dreams is blessed with a lot of quality sci-fi assets, and this set is no exception. I love the use of spotlights on the fan blades, a simple but instant way of taking your scene from lifeless and static to lived in. Details abound here, but our player character is the only living thing present, but the scene doesn't feel empty solely from that little bit of motion. Another detail on the level is the unlock animation of these doors here. Simple things like that take a scene and this set to the next level. You can see from the various rooms of our station, the components are well thought through, from constructing a hangar bay to the control room for it. Thermal usage in this set is low. You might be able to fit the entire set into a scene, and it includes several items you might use for a game, like weapons. I really like these control room monitors. I think those are well executed, and an asset like that can be placed in just about any scene. thebiv is another creator with a criminally low follow count of just under 300. I would encourage you to check out these assets, put them to use, and give thebiv a follow, because thebiv is one of my Dreams asset heroes. So in this video we checked out 4 more Dreams asset heroes toiling away to create excellent assets for you all. Show them some love, check them out, use their stuff, and give them a follow. More videos in the pipeline as always. I try to keep them coming as regularly as possible. I'm also starting work on a group project in Unity for school. If I can convince my team, I might give you a regular peek at that and discuss the process. If you're interested in something like that, let me know in the comments. But that's all for now. Until next time, I'll see you in the Dreamiverse.